Some stories don't begin with grand moments. They begin quietly, with two people who never meant to fall in love, and a town that never learned how to forgive. The town of Willow Creek sat nestled between the hills, a place where secrets traveled faster than the wind. People here believed in two things, God and gossip. And in the middle of it all lived a young girl named Emma Hale. She was 17, soft-spoken, kind, and known for a laugh that could warm even the coldest heart. Her father, Mr. Hale, was a respected man, a teacher, and a church elder who believed reputation was everything. In his eyes, Emma was the proof that his life had gone right, but that illusion was about to shatter. Across the fields lived Liam Carter, the son of a mechanic. His hands were always stained with oil and sweat from his father's garage. He wasn't rich or educated like the town's good boys, but he had something they didn't, a heart that noticed the small things. Like the way Emma tucked her hair behind her ear when she laughed, or how she'd stay behind after church to help the elderly walk home. They first met by the riverbank one lazy afternoon, when Emma dropped her sketchbook into the water. Without a second thought, Liam jumped in, pulled it out, and handed it back, dripping wet. Emma laughed. "You just ruined your shoes," she said. He smiled. "I don't own shoes worth saving." That was the start, a simple exchange, a simple smile. But it was enough to set fire to something neither of them could control. Over the months, they began to meet more often, always away from watchful eyes, by the old bridge, at the edge of the cornfields. Their love was a gentle whisper between heartbeats. They talked about everything, their dreams, their fears, their future. Liam wanted to leave Willow Creek and start his own workshop in the city. Emma wanted to paint, to see places that didn't judge you for who you loved. But small towns have big ears. Whispers had already begun. Mrs. Potter, who ran the bakery, saw them once, walking a little too close. By evening, half the town knew Emma Hale was seeing the mechanic's boy. When her father heard, his face turned to stone. He warned her, "You will not see that boy again. You are a Hale. Don't throw away your dignity for someone who has none." Emma tried to listen, but love doesn't follow rules. It was late summer when they met for what would be the last time. The moon hung low, the air heavy with the smell of rain. They sat by the river, the same place it all began. Emma cried quietly. "My father said he'll send me away if I see you again," she whispered. Liam took her hand. "Then I'll leave with you." She shook her head. "You can't. You have nothing." He smiled faintly. "Then I'll have you. That's enough." She wanted to believe him, God she did, but fear had already crept in between their words, and that night, under the broken moonlight, they made a choice neither of them fully understood, a choice that would bind them forever. Weeks passed. Emma stopped sketching. She avoided everyone, and then one morning, she fainted in church. The silence that followed was louder than any sermon. Her mother found out the truth first, then her father. When he heard, Mr. Hale's hands trembled with fury. He dragged her to her room, shouting until his voice broke. "Do you have any idea what you've done? Do you have any idea what people will say?" Emma sobbed. "I didn't mean for this to happen." But he wouldn't listen. In his eyes, she wasn't his daughter anymore. She was his shame. Word spread fast. The town that once smiled at Emma now avoided her like a plague. Liam tried to see her, but her father had already warned him, "Come near my house again, and I'll have you arrested." Liam begged for forgiveness, begged to see her one last time. But Mr. Hale slammed the door in his face. Days later, Emma was sent to her aunt's house, far away from Willow Creek. And just like that, she disappeared, leaving behind a boy who loved her and a town that never forgave her. Sometimes silence doesn't protect. It only buries the truth deeper, until it becomes part of the soil we walk on. Time doesn't heal everything. It just teaches you how to live with the pain. 10 years had passed. Willow Creek hadn't changed much. The same narrow streets, the same church bells, the same gossip disguised as kindness. But Emma had changed. She was 27 now, quiet, graceful, but with eyes that carried entire storms. She came back not because she wanted to, but because her father was dying. The letter from her mother had been simple. "He doesn't have much time. He wants to see you." And so she came. Not as the daughter they once adored, but as a woman the town had long erased. When she walked through the old wooden door, the air felt heavy with years of silence. Her mother hugged her, weeping softly. But her father couldn't look at her. Not at first. He lay in bed, thin and pale. When he finally spoke, his voice cracked. "Emma, you shouldn't have come." She blinked back tears. "You wrote to me." He sighed, looking away. "Your mother did. I didn't think you'd actually come." She nodded. "You never did think much of me after that night." Silence filled the room. Finally, he said, "You were my pride, Emma, and then I lost everything because of you." She whispered, "You didn't lose me. You gave me away." That evening, Emma walked to the old riverbank. The water still moved the same way, and waiting there as if time had never moved was Liam Carter. His hair was shorter, his hands still rough from years in the garage. But his eyes, those same soft brown eyes, hadn't changed. When he saw her, he froze. "Emma?" She smiled faintly. "You remember me?" He gave a small laugh. "How could I forget the girl who made me believe the world could be better?" They stood there, quiet for a while. The river whispered between them. Then she said, "I heard you stayed. Opened your own shop." "Yeah," he said, kicking a stone. "Not much, but it's mine." She nodded. "I used to dream about that. You fixing cars, me painting portraits near the window." Liam looked down. "We almost had that." Emma smiled sadly. "Almost." As the sun began to set, Liam finally asked, "What happened to the baby?" Her eyes shimmered, but she didn't look away. "She was stillborn. I never even got to hold her." The words hit him like silent thunder. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. Emma nodded. "Me too." Then she took a deep breath. "I spent years hating myself, hating you, hating my father. But one day I realized it wasn't anyone's fault. We were just two kids trying to fight the world with love, and love alone wasn't enough." Liam looked at her, tears welling in his eyes. "I would have given you everything I had." She smiled softly. "You already did, Liam. You gave me something I never forgot. The feeling of being truly seen." Later that night, Emma sat by her father's bedside again. He was weaker now. She reached for his hand. "Dad, I forgive you." His eyes fluttered open. "For what?" "For everything. For the silence. For the years you made me feel like I didn't belong." Tears rolled down his face. "I thought I was protecting you, Emma. I thought shame would ruin you." She smiled sadly. "It wasn't shame that ruined me, Dad. It was silence." He gripped her hand, whispering, "I'm sorry." She nodded. "I know." A week later, Mr. Hale passed away quietly in his sleep. At the funeral, the church that once judged Emma now watched her from a distance, uncertain, curious, almost guilty. After the burial, Emma placed a single white rose on the grave and whispered, "Goodbye, Dad. I hope you finally found peace." Then she turned and saw Liam standing at the edge of the crowd. They didn't say anything. They didn't need to. Sometimes love doesn't mean forever. Sometimes it just means remembering. In a small town like Willow Creek, stories never really end. They just echo, through whispers, through memories, through the places where love once lived. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is forgive the past, even when it never asked to be forgiven. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more stories like this. We'll see you in the next one.